Hey everybody, my name is James Frasca. I am a video production specialist here at Videoguys. We had a little bit of technical difficulties getting everything set up, but I think we're all set. Today we are being joined by Paul Richards, and we are going to go over the new and exciting PTZOptics Studio Pro. So we're going to skip our intro and just get right into it. So Paul, why don't you do us a favor and introduce yourself real quick?
Hey everybody, I'm Paul Richards from PTZOptics. Really excited to be here and show everybody the Studio Pro.
Uh, Paul, it looks like your video cut out there for a second, so we'll see if it comes back. But yes, we are very excited to be talking about the Studio Pro. We have two of them in our studio. We're very fortunate. And I know Paul has a ton in his studio, so we're going to be talking about some of the different ways that we can incorporate the studio into your production. Um, we're still a little bit frozen here. So, oh, I think we're back. So, all right, we're back. Hi, Paul. Sorry about that. So why don't we just get why don't you just give us a quick overview of the camera, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, it looks like my producer just cut to this shot from the direct Studio Pro camera here. I have it set up at my desk to show the camera that I'm going to unbox in a minute here. So this is the video from the Studio Pro. It is a 1080p 60 camera available with HDMI, available with NDI, and available with USB. So right now I've just got this plugged into my computer via USB. But in a moment, we're going to show it working with the Atomos Zato. We're going to show it off over NDI for some multi-camera production stuff. I'm going to open the box and take a look. It's going to be pretty fun.
Yeah, no, that sounds pretty cool. And you mentioned a couple different ways that the Studio Pro can be connected to various devices, but it's not limited to just USB and HDMI and NDI. It also has the ability to do direct streaming with RTMP. Is that correct?
Yeah, there's multiple streaming options available with this camera. It's powered over Ethernet, so it's PoE. You can stream directly to YouTube or Facebook with RTMP. You can stream with SRT, Secure Reliable Transpoint, and a bunch of different other IP options as well.
And that is awesome. Now, there's a couple different ways that we can control the camera, and first and foremost is, of course, going to be the included IR remote. So why don't you tell us about some of the functionality of the IR remote?
So the IR remote can control up to 4 cameras. So you can really have a mini studio with these Studio Pros, great for podcasts and things of that nature. You can zoom in the camera using the I'm using a Stream Deck actually to control this camera, but you can use a IR remote, you can set presets, and you can control the camera, all the iris and settings and exposure.
Very cool. And then another way that you can control the camera in a little bit more detailed fashion is with the web GUI. So, right off the bat, I know that you can do the color control. That's where you can set up your streaming if you want to use RTMP or SRT. Am I missing anything? What else can we do with the web GUI, Paul?
So the web GUI allows you to set up all your presets. You can control the focus. A lot of our customers like to get the really nice bokeh effect. So you can control the iris and the shutter speed. It also has the ability to have profiles. So if you have your set in multiple different ways, you can save an entire color settings profile onto the camera. You can set up all your streaming information. So this is where you would put in your YouTube or your Facebook RTMP streams and turn those streams on and off. It has the NDI configurations, and of course the ability to remotely zoom in and focus the camera.
That's very cool. So it's taking a lot of the pieces from the PTZ cameras and putting it basically into the functionality of this camera as well.
Yeah.
So this is one thing that I thought was pretty cool is that on the back of the camera there's a little I guess it's called a dip switch that allows you to go from horizontal to vertical video, and I see this working out really well in, like you said, bloggers who are, potentially going to be streaming to, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, things like that, right?
Yeah, so essentially you can do 9:16 video. So you can have it 16:9 just in portrait mode. And by flicking that switch, all the outputs will turn into the 9:16 mode. So you can bring in this via USB, you can bring it in via NDI or HDMI into vertical video productions and environments.
Yeah, it's just another way that this camera is a super versatile camera and can pretty much fit in any workflow, really. So kudos to PTZOptics for having all those cool features. And then, of course, how can we forget that it comes with a little LED light, which can be clipped onto your computer. You can have it, connected to the hot shoe on top of it, or even Isaac, who is someone that works in our office. This is actually the Studio Pro that he's been using as his webcam for the past month or so. He actually has it mounted on a 1/4 20 screw on the side of the camera itself.
There's a lot of different options. And in fact, towards the end of this presentation, I think we have all the different mounting options for these cameras. But the light is included. It's powered by the camera. So there's a little USB 2.0 output to the light, so you never have to worry about powering it. And it's just to make you look the best when you connect, right? So when you connect, you want to look your best online. And sometimes a little bit of lighting is that missing element for those Zoom calls or those online meetings and live streams that so many of us are having.
Isaac actually pointed out a good reason for having this light is there's actually behind him in his office, there's a window. And so this, having the light on him directly helps counteract, the overexposed background because now he is more properly lit to match that. So that's a perfect example of how that little light can come in very handy. And then, of course, you can put other things on the cold shoe, such as a Zato or Zato.
Yeah, we're going to show that off today. In fact, I've got the Zato right over here. The cold shoe is a very common connector for different accessories in the video industry. So whether it's a light or a microphone, there's actually multiple 1/4 20 connections on this camera so that you can accessorize and obviously it has a great video quality, but sometimes adding that extra light, that extra microphone, or a monitor which we're going to show in a moment, the Atmos Zato monitor, adds that extra customability for creators that want to get that perfect look on their videos.
And speaking of adding a microphone onto the hot shoot, there is a 3.5 millimeter audio in right in the camera, so you can embed that audio right into your video feed.
That's right. It's got a 3.5 millimeter line audio input.
And just to cover our bases all again, we have HDMI, NDI, USB-C, and RTMP. So this camera can do basically everything. Any kind of video that you want to be able to record or send, this camera will be able to do that and help you step up your game, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have all of the settings and menus that are in a DSLR camera, yet you're going to get the quality of the DSLR camera with the ease of use of a live streaming camera where it's plug and play.
I think that's a really good way to think about it is that, it's not overly complicated, but you're still going to get that image quality of a DSLR. I think that's a good way to think about that. All right, so now before we get into how we can mount this camera, I think that's where we said that we wanted to do a little bit of a demo, show off some of the quality of these cameras, and do a little unboxing in your studio.
Let's do it. So I'm going to head over to my unboxing area, which is right over here in our studio. And I've got the box. And I'm going to cut over here to our unboxing area. We have a little behind the scenes so you guys can see what we're doing. And I'm going to put down the PTZOptics Studio Pro here. Before I do, I want to show, and we've got a top-down shot of a Studio Pro. So we're using a Studio Pro to shoot down here, right here. And then we've also got a Studio Pro in the front. And the Studio Pro in the front is actually connected to an Atomos Zato. So this is actually this is a really cool shot you'll see in a moment. how this camera is shooting the box in front of me. It looks really crisp and nice. So this is the live footage of the camera. Now from above, then these are all coming in via NDI. These are all powered over Ethernet. This one here, I actually put the light on it. You can see the light there. I put it on because we just needed a little extra light to capture coming downward. So Mike has this clamped to a photography tripod. So let me go ahead and open it up. All right. So here's the Studio Pro. And when we open it up, first thing I want to note is the manual. So we've got the manual there. This is the quick start guide, just to get you going. And Mike's showing the optical zoom of the Studio Pro from above. We have new eco-friendly packaging, by the way. So all of this is recyclable material, including the cardboard box. Inside you will find the USB cable for the light. So this is the USB cable that goes directly to power the light. Your remote control with batteries in it, your USB-C cable, and power supply. Then inside, you will see that we have a Studio Pro camera with a privacy lens cap. So we've got the lens cap on there for privacy purposes. And then we have the light that is packaged in here as well.
Now, one thing I wanted to
So
say with
hopefully,
this unboxing video, I think that you used that little light in a perfect situation. You know, just another way that you can incorporate it. Just speaking from personal experiences, you know, we do lots of unboxing videos here as well. And, you know, a lot of the times your lights are coming in directly at it, but to be able to have that light above your head shooting directly down at the product, I think that is going to come in super handy for something in a situation like that. I see that as a very practical benefit to the camera.
yeah, and if we look at the shot shooting straight here, you'll see that the hot shoe just fits right on there. And one of the things that they did that I really like is there's additional hot shoe slots on the sides and top of this light. Just because you're using up the hot slew on here doesn't mean you can still use them for microphones and different things there. Now I wanted to take a moment to look at this Atomos Zato and show how it's connected to this PTZOptics Studio Pro. So in a lot of cases, you might want to have a monitor showing you what you're looking at for your Studio Pro in this exact environment. This gives you a nice, I think you said, James, it's like a 5-inch screen.
It's 5.2 inches. Yep.
So it's a nice big screen, very bright. You can even use it outside. And it actually can stream and record all the video off of your Studio Pro. It's actually powered by the USB-C cable. It's really interesting. Now we have this connected over NDI, but you can see here it has a handle. So if I were to pick this camera up, which I kind of wanted to do just to show this today, since
We
you
can
guys
also
are the
show it on
video
our
guys.
end too if you want, because we have the Zato connected to ours in studio as well.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Why don't you show this off?
Okay, Adam, why don't you cut to our close-up camera here and we can kind of show this off a little bit. So it really is just one cable connected from the Zato into the USB 1, connected into the USB-C in the back of the Studio Pro. And as you can see, our Zato is getting all of that footage. I'm kind of roughly pointing it at Adam over at our TriCaster. And so the battery in the back of the Zato is powering the camera while at the same time that one USB-C cable is sending video to the Zato. And like Paul was saying, you can then record everything to the Zato or use it as a encoder to stream directly to your CDN. So that is a very cool kind of faux bundle. You know, these pair very well with each other. And then of course, having a 5-inch screen with this camera all together makes it a super viable solution.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so that was a pretty cool, two different situations or workflows where the Studio Pro will fit in pretty good. So let's move into some of the different ways that we can mount the Studio Pro to various objects. So the first thing that we have listed here is by putting it on an overhead camera somehow, using, maybe a mic arm or something like that that can clamp to a desk. It does have the 1/4 20 screw on the bottom of it, so that makes that super easy to set up. And just so the viewers know, we are going to put the links to all of these brackets and different mounting options into our blog and in the description of the video after the fact. So make sure that you check those out. So the other thing that you can do is you can use a monitor top camera mount, and the one that we have shown off here is actually what we're using in our studio here, and it just clamps onto the front of your monitor, even though I have it in the back of the monitor right now so you can see the camera. But again, it's just a 1/4 20 screw, and then the clamp clamps onto your screen, your monitor, and it will hold your camera in place. I think, Paul also was doing something very similar at the beginning of the show. He was just using a monitor clamp attached to his monitor. This is a different kind of monitor clamp that you can put multiple cameras on if you wanted to, or maybe have your light offset a little bit so it's not so frontal. And then, of course, there are wall mounts that you can use and have different variations of weight on them or lengths away from the wall. But again, just being able to hook it up to a wall fairly easy is going to, make it just all that more versatile. Basically, any mount that has, a 1/4 20 screw on it, so a tripod, wall mount, monitor mount, any kind of 1/4 20 mount will accept this camera, and then that's how you can hook it up. It's not too complicated. Am I missing any other ways that you can mount this to
No,
something?
I think pretty much covered it there. Oh, jeez. There's a huge storm rolling through. Hopefully, I apologize. Looks like the red alert on my phone. Sorry.
That's okay. We didn't hear anything. We haven't heard anything. But that's okay. I just want to say, thank you for being here, Paul, of course. Oh my goodness. We skipped contact information. We have to give a lot of credit to PTZ Optics because their support is so good. So if you do have any questions about any of this stuff, you can obviously reach out to us at Videoguys, 800-323-2325, but you can also contact PTZ Optics for questions about any of the products, or also if you have, although I don't think you'll need it, any support questions, you can reach out to them at support@ptzoptics.com. Now I want to say thank you for joining us, Paul. I know that we had some technical hiccups, and I hope that you are okay with this storm. Not quite sure where you're located, but we're also expecting a storm later tonight. So hopefully we don't get it as bad as you guys got. One thing that we always like to do is we like to give our guests the last word. So Paul, before we say goodbye, is there anything else that you would like to say about the PTZ Optics Studio Pro?
Well, we've had really a big blast with this camera so far. You're seeing it with me here. It's got a brand new Sony sensor. It's got an awesome light. I'm really happy that it's less than $700. So much flexibility. Give it a try. I think you'll be really impressed. We've seen YouTubers already comparing this camera to DSLR cameras. Then we've seen high-end broadcasters comparing it to high-end broadcast cameras, honestly. Broadcast engineers, and it really it shines in small to medium-sized studio environments where you need a little optical zoom to get the perfect shot. So I hope you guys have a chance to play with this great camera and let us know what you think.
I know that we've been playing with it in our studio, and we have had nothing but good things coming out of this camera. So without further ado, I think we'll say goodbye to Paul. So thank you again for being here.
Thanks,
Um,
James.
thank you. We are live every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern, going over the latest and greatest technology in the live streaming field, such as the PTZOptics Studio Pro. So I want to say thank you for joining us. Make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Facebook. If you have any questions about the Studio Pro or any PTZOptics gear available, feel free to give us a call, 800-323-2325. We'll see you next Tuesday. Peace.
Videoguys is available Monday through Friday. Give us a call at 1-800-323-2325. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram to stay connected with all of our updates. And you can like us on Facebook. Keep an eye out for our live videos, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.